Over to you.
Okay. Okay, so before we start the night, I think for the viewers at home, yes, I am in my pyjamas. We are having a pyjama night here at Bridge Builders. So, to be honest, I probably would live in my pyjamas if I could, but apparently that is not socially acceptable. So, yeah. So as you're aware, I'm doing my talk on self-confidence. Throughout my asset, I'll actually be asking you guys to join in, so please participate. This is my first ever asset and I'm already really nervous to talk in front of you guys, so I'd really appreciate it if you actually joined in when I asked you to. So to start it off, I'd actually like to ask you guys what you think self-confidence is. So what is it? Yep.
Believing in yourself.
Yep.
Never have doubt for yourself to try new things.
Yep.
Being in a good mindset.
That's good. Yeah, Holly?
Being confident in who you are.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
talk negatively about yourself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Being courageous.
Oh, I like that one.
Having a high self-esteem.
Yeah, they're all really good answers, and you pretty much hit it on the head there. When I begin researching something, I always look at a dictionary definition. It always gives you pretty much what it is, down to the basics. So it's a feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. So think of it. It's a feeling of trust. Trust in one's ability, trust in one's qualities, and trust in one's judgment. So think of it this way. If you don't trust yourself, if you don't love yourself, how are others supposed to? Have you ever heard the saying, fake it till you make it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, well, that will only get you so far. It might give you a little bit of confidence, but it's not a permanent solution. People will read through you really easily. They'll know you're being fake because you haven't got that trust. Trust in your abilities, trust in your judgments, and your qualities. So if I were to ask you, what are the traits of someone who has low self-confidence? What would they look like?
Me.
Yeah.
A quiet voice.
Yeah. Yeah, back. Yeah.
I'd say quite shy.
Yeah.
Like in their own personal bubble.
Yeah.
Would speak negatively about themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Go, Holly.
Living in their own made-up world.
Yeah.
Head down.
Yeah. So, those are actually really accurate responses. Thanks, James. So someone with low self-confidence generally is shy. They'll have a lack of assertiveness, will struggle to, or have difficulties communicating, have social anxiety, avoid risks, stay in their comfort zone, and can even govern their behaviour based on what people think and often dismiss compliments. So what do you guys think of traits of someone who is confident? Yeah?
Very outgoing.
Yeah?
Trying a lot of new things.
Yeah?
Not afraid to speak out.
Yeah? That's a good one.
Sorry, I was focused on my hands.
That's okay, play again.
Driven.
Yeah?
Clear and strong voice.
Yeah?
I was going to say assertive, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah? Yeah, so that's pretty good. Good. So, someone who is confident is willing to take risks, admits to mistakes, learns from them, is optimistic, accepts compliments, does what they believe is right, even if people don't agree with them. It's about being aware of when you're struggling and having strength to do something about it. Self-confidence is also having self-respect. Self-respect to have the courage to tell the truth about who you are, what you like, or what you believe in. In my research, the one statement that really got to me, that spoke a lot to me, was self-confidence is then the courage to know yourself, believe in yourself, and act on your beliefs. So that it should be recognised that there are traits out there that may appear to be self-confidence, but aren't actually self-confidence. Holding yourself to unrealistic expectations and standards isn't self-confidence. It's going to lead you to fail, as you won't be able to achieve these goals or these expectations or live up to those standards. This will cause you to doubt yourself, question your judgment, and question yourself. It will fuel your negative thoughts, which will only cause you to your self-confidence to dwindle. Another trait is being selfish. Self-confidence isn't about being selfish. It's not all about you. That's actually arrogance. Those two shouldn't be confused, okay? People who generally have self-confidence are actually quite selfless. They actually really like helping other people because not only are they lifting the people around them up, they're lifting themselves up by doing that. Another trait that's not self-confidence is believing that you are perfect or thinking that you should be perfect. Self-confidence affected my life. So it really impacted my self-confidence.
You're a good girl.
You're
Go
right.
there.
So I used to say my comfort zone a lot. I feared failure to the point that I actually would cry. I would act a certain way around people, and because I was afraid that they would find out what I had and they'd treat me differently. And I got good at hiding myself around people, especially people that weren't my family. So when I was about 7 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD. So that's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And there's a lot of negative stigma around ADHD. So around the time I was actually diagnosed, so that's roughly in primary school, a lot of medical and psychological professionals, along with some teachers, didn't actually believe in ADHD. They thought it was just bad behaviour. So I was listening to all this stigma when I was younger, and I was picking that up subconsciously. So when I reached about high school, I was very, I lacked self-confidence. I just couldn't deal with high school really. I found that when people found out that I had ADHD, they started to treat me differently. So they would go up from here treating me like I was normal, and then all of a sudden they found out that I had this, and all of a sudden I'm down here again. They would talk down to me. They would talk to me as if I was stupid. So I got really scared to mention that I had this. I used to take medication for it. So as high schoolers, especially in year 7, they got really curious why I was taking medication. So they would ask me, and I'd get physically upset because I didn't want to admit to them that I was different, that I wasn't like them. So it took a long time for me to accept that part of myself because I absolutely hated it. It'd make me cry. I'd beg for this aspect to change. And so my self-confidence was practically non-existent. I got good at faking being confident. This led to me doubting myself and missing out on opportunities because I thought I wasn't good enough to go for those opportunities. I'd let the negative talk about ADHD rule me, and it crippled my confidence, especially in high school. I got to the point I was actually questioning some of my friendships because I was thinking they're just hanging around because they're feeling sorry for me. And I was really paranoid. It actually crippled those friendships. I'm no longer friends with those people. As soon as high school finished, I didn't stay in contact with them. because my paranoia got to me. Are you seeing a pattern here? Negative thoughts are going to keep going in a circle and a circle and a circle. It's going to keep going around and your confidence ain't going to grow. You need to break that cycle. What I needed to do was stop allowing ADHD to be the excuse of why my self-confidence wasn't growing. I had to switch my mindset. So instead of blaming the ADHD, I actually had to start accepting that this was a part of who I was. So it's not till recently that I've actually started to think positively about it. I've come to accept that it is a part of me, but I'm not going to let it define who I am. My confidence has grown because I've stopped thinking negatively about something I can't physically change, but I know I can live with it. I'm not afraid now to voice my opinions. If I believe something is right, I'll voice that. I've stopped caring about what other people think of me. And I'm willing to take risks now because I know in the long run, it will benefit me. I'm going to learn something from it. Even if I fail, I'm going to get something from it. Building self-confidence isn't easy. There is no quick solution to it. It's going to take time. You will struggle with it, but keep going because it's worth it. Remember that self-confidence is a feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. Believe me, there is no better feeling when you're looking at a challenge or an obstacle and you go, I've got this. I can do this. So, how do you do that? How do you build your self-confidence? I'm going to give you some 10 tips. Now, not all of these are going to work for all of you. You just find out which ones work for you best. So, the first one, positive thinking. For some of you, thanks Alex. So some of you, taking a step back from the problem, look at the problem from an objective point of view. We'll sometimes break away from those negative thoughts and kickstart positive thoughts. For others, it might help by saying positive affirmations about yourself, such as, I am good enough. So I'd actually like to do a little activity with you now. I want everyone to shout out something positive about themselves. It could be, I'm strong, I'm confident, whatever. You choose whatever. And for those of you who think this is going to be silly, I'm doing an asset in my pajamas in front of a recording, so you can do this. Alright, on the count of 3, I want you all to shout out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm confident! That's awesome, guys. Thanks. 2, I want you to challenge your inner critic. You know that little voice inside your head saying, you're not good enough, you're not going to do it? Well, challenge it. Say, why aren't I good enough? Think about the times it's been wrong. 85% of the things we worry about actually end up having a positive or neutral outcome. So challenge it. Why not? Focus on achievements. Let's be honest here. Who's ever said something like, I haven't accomplished anything in my life? Yeah? I have said this statement quite a lot. But if I actually look at it, I've actually accomplished quite a bit. Not only do I have a degree in archaeology, I have a postgraduate diploma in early childhood education, which I passed with distinctions. Those achievements made me feel really proud. I've accomplished those. Writing a list of your achievements, what you've accomplished, goes a long way in helping your self-confidence. It's actually a really good tool to fight your inner critic. So what you should do is write down a list of accomplishments that made you feel proud. Whether that's getting a B or an A in a class that you normally don't do well in, standing up and talking to a group of people. Whatever it is, regardless if it's big or small, write it down. Look at the list. Like I said, it's a good tool to challenge your inner critic. I'd actually like to hear some of you guys what you're proud of. What have you achieved? What are your accomplishments?
My Australian Scout medallion.
Ooh.
Yesterday I did a testimonial at the high team.
Yeah, you did.
I filmed a short film.
Yeah.
Got a postie bike.
Yeah.
Name?
I rode a postie bike to Sydney and back.
Ella?
Traveled to Europe by myself.
Yeah.
Got my barista course that I was procrastinating to use.
My breath of fresh metal.
Ooh.
Done my construction and white card.
Ooh.
Got a 100 in my Japanese test.
Well done. Oh, it's really cool to hear you guys to actually listing your accomplishment. It's actually quite inspiring. Number 4, think about your strengths. I bet you everybody in this room has something they're really good at. Okay, that's a strength. Reflecting on those strengths is a good way to think positively and boost your confidence. Again, guys, I would love to hear some of your strengths. What are you guys good at?
Sleeping.
Acting.
Yeah,
English.
yeah,
Footy.
yeah, yeah.
Writing.
Cricket and basketball.
You, yeah,
Singing.
cool.
Script writing.
Woo.
Welding.
Dirt bikes.
Is that how you got the accent?
Okay, so maybe not that good.
Self-confidence.
I'm good at annoying my dogs.
Sorry, what
I'm
was that?
good at annoying my dogs.
Me too.
Skill.
It's actually really interesting to hear all the different skills that we have in the room too. So, thanks guys. Number 5, you ready? Be true to yourself. Going along with what everybody else is doing isn't going to boost your confidence. Stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for what you think is right. Because life is far too short to be anybody else. Trust me, the moment I stopped allowing other people's opinions to affect me so much was like a huge weight off my shoulders. Ready? Number 6, self-care. This is actually a really good practice to help in most aspects of your life. If you're stressed, you're feeling panicked, that's when your negative thoughts attack. Because not only are you physically tired, you're mentally tired as well. Self-care is doing something that makes you relax. Whether you're reading a book, playing a video game, meeting up with friends, it's a good way to help you stay in a positive mindset. Now, I don't mean you spend all your time reading, all your time on video games. Self-care should generally happen either a couple of hours a day, could be once a week, once a month. It's just taking that little time for yourself. For example, what I do for self-care is every 3 weeks, me and my best mate, we go and get our nails done. Every 3 weeks. We talk about what's going on in our lives. It helps us reflect. It's expensive, but it works. So self-care. Ready? 7. Surrounding yourself with confident and positive people. While I was researching this topic, I came across a really good quote that stuck with me. Confident people inspire confidence in others. It resonated with me because it was true. When I first came here to Bridge Builders, I didn't really participate in anything. I didn't really attend events. I rarely spoke to people, bar like 1 or 2 people. What really helped me to get out of my shell was being around so many confident people. They inspired me to give things a go. Like I said, 85% of the things that we worry about actually end up having a positive or neutral outcome. So give things a go. It most likely will turn out in a positive way. Making changes. This means focusing on what you can change. Don't focus on what you can't. This means looking at what you can control and changing this for the better. If you focus on the things that you can't, that are outside your control, you'll only fuel those negative thoughts because you're going to constantly fail. It's not going to change. The whole idea of making changes is to break that cycle. I focused on my ADHD, which is out of my control. I can't change that. I had to focus on my mindset. That I could change. Number 9. Now, I'm going to get groans in the room here, but okay. Exercise. Exercise is a good way to help your self-confidence. When you exercise, you're releasing chemicals that make you happy. It's a good way to break the negative cycle. Okay? You're feeding chemicals that make you happy. It's going to have a positive outcome. Exercising gives you more energy, gives you motivation. I know for a fact that when I come out of a really good PT session or a gym session, I feel like I can do anything. So, which leads me to my final point. Celebrate the small stuff. I know this sounds kind of similar to focus on your achievements, but it is different. For this one, don't just focus on what makes you proud. Focus on the little wins that you've had during the day. For example, you found $1 on the footpath. That's a win. Your mum or dad has cooked your favourite dinner. Another win. So this is the last time I'll ask you guys to participate. I just want to hear some of the little wins people have had today, during the week.
I performed for my music teacher on the piano.
Woo!
Me and Riley found a blind puppy.
Or, yeah, I'll put it here.
Stayed in bed all day.
My friends paid me actual money for a design that I made for them.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Being collector of DVDs and CDs.
Okay.
My SAC result went up.
Woohoo.
Hang out with you on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, for my birthday and Christmas, I'm going to Sydney to see my favourite rappers band.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did pretty well in my English sack today.
Yay. Yeah.
I met Ariana Grande last year.
Yeah, buddy.
I didn't get paint on myself from painting that self
Yeah.
I found $100 ripped up in two $50 notes.
But there you
Cool.
go, you say though.
Again.
Went for a Lambo ride yesterday.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
what?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna eat.
I got a 98% for my psychology cat.
Wow. Good job. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Geelong's won twice, over 100 points in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shot my first shotgun at the range in Willowdale.
Oh, cool. See guys, it's not about the big things. We have to remember the little things as well. They can boost your self-confidence. Before we move into PAX tonight, I want you guys to remember that gaining self-confidence has no quick fix. Let me emphasize that. There is no quick fix. This journey will be tough. At times, you will doubt yourself. But push through this because it will be worth it in the end. Remember, trust in your abilities, judgment and qualities. And most importantly, trust in yourself. Yeah.